In today's video, I'm going to be going over all the things that can go wrong when running a dropshipping store. Now, as you guys may or may not know, when you are running a dropshipping store, there's a lot of things that can go wrong if you do not keep an eye on them and if you do not make sure that all things are maintained on a regular basis. So everything that I will share with you in this video are the things that I have been keeping an eye on for the last 6 years, because I got started in dropshipping back in 2018, and ever since running my dropshipping store, I've always had to keep an eye on all of these things to make sure that my store keeps running smoothly and to ensure the longevity of my store. With that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the first thing, which is your dispute rate. So your dispute rate is extremely important. I cannot emphasize this enough, guys. If you do not have a payment processor when you are running an e-commerce store, you basically have no ability to accept business and you have lost all your ability to generate any revenue for your dropshipping store. So this is very important, guys. You should always keep an eye on your dispute rate. You should always make sure that it stays below a certain level. That level is around 0.7 to 0.8% for Stripe. I do not know what that dispute rate threshold is for the other payment processors, but I do know that for Stripe, you do want to aim to be below, way below, preferably 0.7 or 0.8%. And like I said, guys, if you do not have a payment processor, you are basically out of business. So this is the number one thing that you have to control to ensure that your payment processor account stays safe and stays healthy for a long period of time. Now, your dispute rate depends on a whole lot of factors. The first one I can think of is your shipping times. Now, if you did not make sure that your shipping times are clearly displayed on your Shopify store, then your customers can be misled in a way and they can expect some shipping times which you cannot deliver. So the best way to avoid this is to make sure that you set clear expectations and that you display your shipping times very clearly on your shipping policy page and also on your product page. The next thing you have to keep an eye on is your product quality, because this is actually one of the main drivers behind chargebacks. So if your product is crap, it's going to drive up, your chargeback rate, which in turn is going to drive up your dispute rate. So you really want to make sure that you source only the highest quality products out of China, and you make sure that you order a product home so that you can test it out yourself and see if you are satisfied with the quality, because chances are if you are satisfied with the quality, then your customers will be as well. The next thing is the customer support. Now, again, this is very important, guys. You always want to make sure that your customer support is on point, that you are being courteous with every single interaction with your customers and you do answer them in a very timely manner. I highly recommend that you answer each and every email coming from your customers in less than 24 hours. That way your customers know that you are a very serious company and you do take their inquiries very seriously. Number two, guys, is your brand reputation online. You really want to keep an eye on this, because when you are building a long-term brand that's going to be sustainable for you in the future and that's going to generate a steady income, you really want to make sure that your brand reputation stays very good, if not amazing, because a bad reputation is going to significantly reduce your conversion rate, it's going to lower your chances of longevity, and it's basically going to result in a lower brand valuation as well and lower trust. And all of these things are detrimental to your longevity in business and to the reputation that your brand has. So you have to keep in mind that your reputation is your main driver behind being able to outcompete your competitors. And if you do not have a good brand reputation, then the competitors that do have one, they will eat up your market share and you will soon be out of business. Number three, guys, is your Facebook pages score. This is something that you have to keep an eye on a weekly basis. What it is basically is Facebook sends out surveys every week for your customers to inquire about their satisfaction regarding your purchase experience. That includes the shipping speed, the product's quality, their overall satisfaction when it comes to interacting with your customer support team. So a lower score basically drives up your CPMs, which makes advertising more expensive. So you will have to pay a more expensive price for every single conversion you get through Facebook. And the worst case scenario is that if your score gets under 2, you risk losing your Facebook advertising privileges altogether. Now imagine how detrimental this can be to your entire business. If you lose Facebook advertising, this basically means that you miss out on a massive chunk of your revenue, because there's billions of people using Facebook and you miss out on the chance of advertising to this massive amount of people. So keep in mind, guys, your score updates every Wednesday, and you do want to make sure that you stay on top of this every single Wednesday, so that if you notice a significant drop in your page score, you can take the appropriate measures in a very quick way, so that you can ensure that your page stays safe, that you can stay advertising on Facebook for a long time. Number 4, guys, is your customer ratings. A lot of people, they neglect having a great repertoire, a great history of happy customer reviews, but this is actually something that you should take very seriously if you are planning on building a long-term brand that's going to generate consistent revenue over time. You really do want to make sure that you do your absolute best, the most amount of positive customer feedback, mostly on platforms such as Trustpilot, which is the leading platform and the most trustworthy one when it comes to consumers checking out other consumers' reviews online. This is really something that you really want to stay on top of. You must make it a priority to keep a high rating, like I said, and a history of positive customer reviews. And you should reply to every single review in a timely manner, because even if you do get negative feedback, which is bound to happen, no brand is able to get 100% satisfaction rate. When you do get a negative review, you should take that as an opportunity to showcase your commitment to make it right for the customer that was frustrated when dealing with your brand, and display your outstanding customer support to all the other consumers that might come across this negative experience. So basically, it would help you turn a negative into a positive. If you do maintain a high rating and a high brand reputation thanks to great customer reviews online, you will attract more first-time customers as a result of that, and that will significantly increase your ability to gain the trust of first-time customers. It also significantly increase longevity, because the stronger your history is with positive customer reviews, the easier for you it is going to be to close first-time customers and to convince them to buy from your store. Number 5, guys, is your PayPal balance. Again, I can never emphasize this enough. You should never ever trust PayPal 100%. They can shut you down any time of the day, regardless of how established you are as a brand, regardless of your history with them, regardless of how many years you've been processing with them. It's just always wiser to keep an eye on your balance and to keep it below $2,000. Anything above that is just too much of a risk for me to bear, so I always make sure that it stays well below $2,000. And to minimize the amount of active work I have to do to make sure that the balance always stays below that level, I set up an automatic withdrawal, which basically withdraws all the excess money that's above $2,000 automatically back to my bank account, so that my minimum balance remains below $2,000. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned a lot from it, and from now on you will know what to keep an eye on a regular basis, so that you can really keep your brand for a long time and you keep running it for the long term. Like I said, a lot of things can go wrong, but as long as you do your job in maintaining all of these things and keeping an eye on them on a daily basis, then you minimize your chances of things going wrong, and you maximize your brand's ability to survive for many years ahead. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the content, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.